There's a quiet thought that visits a lot of us, usually late at night when the world is finally still. It's not a loud, dramatic announcement. It's a whisper. What if I could just disappear? Not forever, not in some dark, tragic way, but just for a little while, to be unreachable, to not have to be on. If you've ever felt that silent urge, you're not alone. And it doesn't mean what you probably think it means. This feeling, this desire to just vanish, isn't a sign you hate your life. It's not a flaw in your character or some kind of spiritual failure. It's actually one of the most human responses to the overwhelming noise of modern life. It's a signal, a deep and ancient survival instinct kicking in, not to end things, but to desperately ask for a pause. And let's be really clear about something. This isn't the same as wanting to end your life. This is the desire to pause existence, not terminate it. It's the difference between wanting to smash the console versus just hitting the pause button to catch your breath. It's a wish for relief from the sheer exhaustion of being seen. Today, we're going to talk about this surprisingly common feeling. We'll explore the psychology behind it, what it's trying to tell us, and how to see it not as a wish for an end, but as a deep need for a reset. So, where does this feeling come from? Why does the fantasy of slipping away without a trace feel so good? Well, it's basically a form of self-protection. It's a biological flight or freeze response, but the predator isn't a lion in the grass. It's a relentless flood of notifications, expectations, and perceptions. It starts with something psychologists call impression management fatigue. Think about it. From the moment you wake up, you're performing. You're a professional on a Zoom call, making sure your background looks okay. You're a friend, crafting the perfect supportive text. You're a parent, a partner, a child, and every role has its own script. Social media has cranked this up to a 24/7 theater of the self. Every post, every story, every comment is a tiny piece of identity you're building, and your nervous system reads all that constant visibility as a threat. Because being seen means you can be judged, and your brain, trying to protect you, starts craving the one thing that guarantees safety from judgment: invisibility. This leads to an even deeper exhaustion: identity fatigue. Your identity isn't one solid thing. It's a collection of different yous that you switch between all day. There's the competent work you, the patient family you, the witty online you. The psychologist Carl Jung called these personas, the masks we wear to get by in the world. But now, we're juggling more masks than ever, and we almost never get a break to take them off. The urge to vanish is often a cry from the real you, the person underneath all those layers who is just plain tired of performing. It's your soul wanting to exist without having to constantly edit itself for everyone else. And if you're a highly sensitive or empathetic person, this hits even harder. You're not just managing your own world. You're soaking up the emotional static from everyone else. Your empathy is always on, and your system gets flooded. The urge to disappear becomes a kind of emotional first aid, a desperate attempt to stop the bleeding by getting away from the source of the overwhelm. It's your brain with way too many tabs open, knowing the only fix is to shut down for a bit. This urge isn't always a clear plan to pack a bag and run for the hills. It often lives in the quiet, passive fantasies that drift through your mind. It's that thought on a long drive, wondering what would happen if you just kept going. It's the late-night wish to fall asleep and just not wake up for a while, not because you want to die, but because the idea of permanent, uninterrupted rest feels like the ultimate peace. It's a feeling of being so heavy, so full of life, that you just want to slip into silence where you don't have to see or be seen. Sometimes it comes from anxiety, where every social interaction feels like a test you have to ace. For others, it's a symptom of depression, that feeling of being such a burden that your absence would feel like a gift to others. It can feel like grief showing up as laziness, or a deep weariness that settles right into your bones. We see this reflected in our stories too. One anonymous writer called it entering a cocoon phase, a necessary retreat to process shame and grow in private, hidden from the world's eyes. It's the fantasy of starting over where no one knows your name after a failure or a heartbreak, not to escape your past, but to finally meet yourself without all the baggage. You might feel this as a kind of emotional suffocation, like the roles you play are a costume that's gotten way too tight. Or you might feel it as a weird detachment, like you're watching your own life from a distance, just going through the motions. That's a real thing called depersonalization, where your mind creates distance from reality to cope. The world can seem fuzzy or dreamlike. It's your mind's emergency brake. The urge to vanish is just the story your mind tells about that feeling. A story about escaping not just your job, but your very self. But here's the most important part. This urge isn't a character flaw you need to stamp out. It's not a command you have to obey. It's an invitation. It's a profound signal from your inner wisdom telling you that something is out of balance and needs your attention. So the solution isn't to actually vanish, but to figure out how to answer the call without blowing up your life. The first and most powerful way to do this is with symbolic disappearance. You don't need to book a one-way ticket to a remote island. You can honor the urge with small symbolic acts of vanishing. This could mean turning your phone off for an entire Saturday. It could be taking a micro-vacation by spending an afternoon in a library or by the water with zero plans. It's about giving yourself permission to be unreachable, to be unproductive, to simply be. When you do this, you're treating the urge as a valid need for rest, not a dangerous impulse to be ignored. Second, you have to reduce your inputs and set boundaries. The desire to disappear is a direct result of being overloaded. So, turn down the volume of the world. Mute the group chats that drain you. Unsubscribe from all those emails. Be ruthless about the news and social media you let in. And most importantly, practice using no as a complete sentence. Saying no to something you don't have the energy for isn't selfish. It's self-preservation. Every boundary you set is a little quiet room you build for your mind. Finally, you have to address the core need. Gently ask yourself, what is the urge to disappear really asking for? Sit with the feeling, without judgment. Is it asking for rest? Then make sleep a priority and schedule empty space into your week. Is it asking for purpose? Maybe it's time to pick up that old hobby again. Is it asking for real connection, free from the fear of being a burden? Maybe it's a sign to have an honest talk with someone you trust. Often, the desire to run away from everything is really a desire to run to something, like safety, comfort, or meaning. Everyone's journey with this feeling is different, and many of you have probably found your own ways to listen to it. If you feel comfortable, share a piece of your story or what works for you in the comments. Let's make it a space where we can all feel a little less alone in this. And if this conversation spoke to a quiet part of you, consider subscribing to join our community for more talks about the human experience. The goal, in the end, isn't to vanish, but to learn how to reappear as more of your true self. The urge to disappear isn't a desire to leave your life, but a desire to live it more fully, on your own terms. It's a call to shed the masks that don't fit anymore, to set down the weight of being watched, and to find peace not in absence, but in a more honest, protected presence. It's about learning to disappear into your own life, to find the quiet spaces within it, so you never feel like you have to run away from it again. You don't have to disappear to find peace. You just need to make a little room for yourself, and you are so worth it.